Do you enjoy having a regular barbie, but your barbecue has deteriorated and needs urgent restoration? Then come along with us and we'll show you how to bring this high quality product back to life. Let's go. Hey guys, Musa here from Quantum Home Improvements and Solutions. Welcome back. And if this is your first time to our channel, it's great having you join us. And so today I'm with my mate, Joe.
Hey guys.
And so Joe rang me back a few weeks ago and he said that he's got his barbecue that needs restoration. He's had it for about 10 years.
10 years, yeah,
Yep.
since we moved in.
And you've been using it, what, probably 4 times a week, 3 times a week?
3 to 4 times a week.
Yep.
Yeah, we're mainly cooking outside, so yeah, we enjoy it.
It's fantastic. It's great. I love your al fresco area.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, so the grills have deteriorated quite badly and Joe has gone and bought some new components. So Joe, where'd you get those from?
Joe's Barbecues at Silverwater.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I did a bit of research online and these guys kind of came up and went into the store and yeah, supplied everything for me, which was great.
Yeah, so you couldn't find it anywhere else?
No, it was really hard to source the parts, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this product is a Beefeater Signature Pro line, and it's a really good product. There's really good ratings on this, but as you can see, it's a bit messed up, as you would expect. So anyway, so what we're going to do today is actually dismantle this whole thing, and we're going to clean it out. We're going to degrease it, and we've got a special cleaner here called Rubbedin Magic. And this is also a degreaser, so it's not just a barbecue cleaner, but it's also a degreaser, so you can use it for many different things. Yep. So we've also got some wire brushes we're going to put on the end of a drill bit. We've got some hand brushes, so we've got a whole heap of stuff that we can clean this with, and this is going to come up brilliant. Okay, so now we'll get into it, and we store this thing back to new.
Let's go.
Okay, so now first thing we're going to do is take the hood off. So we've got an Allen key, and this is roughly about a 6.5 mil. I'm not sure the exact size, could be an Imperial, but doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is just take the screw off here. Joe, I'll get you to hold the hood on this side.
Yep.
As I'll take this off because that's going to fall down. That's just about to come out. Okay, you've got that?
Yep.
I'll just put the screw here for a sec. Now I'll just do this side. These look stainless steel, so they look like they haven't corroded in any way. Okay, here it goes. All right, Joe, if you can lift that up for us. Yep. Beautiful. Okay. Just put this down on the table and we put a cloth on it. So this is where we're gonna wash everything. Okay, so now we'll just place some of this degreaser into the spray bottle. They do recommend you use a spray bottle. Okay, so the instructions say that you spray this on and you leave it on for about 10 minutes. Now it is recommended that you have glasses on and also gloves, and try not to breathe this in. And I'm going to spray it everywhere. It's all over the outside. So as I'm spraying, you can see some of the colour coming off, some of the grease and the grime. Okay, so now we're going to let that sit for around 10-15 minutes. So now we're going to take the grills off. Okay, so this is broken. Right here is broken, and same on the other side. So we'll just get rid of that. Okay, so Joe, this is not looking too bad. So we'll take the hot plate off and we'll spray that one as well. This is probably what you use the most, is that right, Joe?
Yeah, correct.
Yep. So Joe did actually get some new burners and also some grills, but we're gonna reuse this hot plate. It's looking pretty solid. I'll just turn that around a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna scrape this edge. So this is just a plastic scraper. We've chose plastic so we don't actually damage the metal or mark the metal. Look at that, Joe. That is brilliant. I'm happy with that. There's a bit of magic happening there. All right, so we just let that sit for a while, let it penetrate, and we'll come back and do it again. This is gonna need a few goes. Okay, that comes as one piece. Yeah, it does. The whole thing comes off like that.
That should pop out.
We'll dismantle it outside. Do you want to just drop all that stuff in there? Ah, beautiful, look at that. That's just all pure rust. All right, so we'll get rid of these. So we've got replacement parts for these. And Joe, if you can put that one on the table. Okay, so if you're doing anything like this, you will need some rags. So Joe's bought a whole heap from Bunnings. All right, Joe, so we're gonna try to take this top off. Oops. We don't want to lose these screws, eh? They're so easy to lose. When you've got a screw, in this case a Phillips head, that won't come out easily, it's pretty tight, what you can do is get an impact screwdriver. So it's metal on this side, it's an impact screwdriver. And you place it in and just tap it gently, not too hard, because you will damage your metal. So what you're trying to do is just loosen some of that contact. This one was really stubborn. She's gone. Fantastic. Yeah, here we go. She's coming.
Got it.
Well, it turned a little bit. Let's get some magic in this. There we go. Woohoo!
Got him.
Now, Joe, can we take this cover off? Beautiful. That's so easy. Mate, we're really getting into it now. Yep, it's pretty easy. So these ones are chunky. Okay, there we are. That's off. Here we go. Can we remember the big ones are on the right with the washers?
Yep.
That is just pivoted in. That's fine. All right, so now we're going to use a long nose pliers, and I'm just going to go behind where the igniter is and just pull this section off. So that comes off, and then the igniter's gone. So that's now out. I'll do it again. This time I'll show you. So with that, I just push that little section in. It's just a little, like a, how can I say, like a piece of metal round, putting pressure on the actual burner. And so you just push that through like that. All right, so now this side, I'm just going to pull that out. You've got a little bit of wire here on the igniter. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see this little clip here. And there we go, that's the clip. We'll just put that out of the way for now, and the igniter will just go through. So that's it there, and we're going to get rid of that burner as well. We've got 2 replacements. Okay, so now I've just moved all the burners on that side, and I'm taking this tray out, and as expected, there's a reservoir of oil under there, and we'll clean that out. Okay, so now I'm going to get a scraper and clean out the reservoir of oil in here, because we can't put these burners in the oil. It's going to be really hard to clean it out. So I'll just scrape it out and just put it into the bucket. Okay, look at that. If you can see that, full of grease. Whoa, that's a lot. So we filled it up. Okay, so I'll just spray this now. Okay, so I managed to clean it up pretty easily. I don't want to put too much of this on. It's going to make a mess underneath. We do have some trays under there to catch it all. Wow, this is really good. It's already starting to strip. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take these plates out, these trays, and we'll give them a wash. Okay, so we've got 4 flat screws here. I'm just going to see if I can get this out, and I can. We've got a little bottle, and we've put the screws in to dissolve all the grease off those, give them a bit of a shake, and we'll let them sit in there for a while. Now I'll just take 2 more screws off. Okay, so just use a chisel. This is actually easier, because it's got a very thin tapering point, so I can get in there easier. Use my chisel as a screwdriver. Who would have thought it? Okay. So what's going to happen here, I'm going to take this whole cover off. Okay, so we just take these off. They just lift straight off. I'm going to put them over here. We'll wash those later. Yep. That's it. Done. Joe, we're done. Fantastic. We've just got to make sure we don't put any detergent on that. So what I might do is just put a rag over that, Joe. All right, so now what we're going to do here, we're going to use a combination of scrapers and scrub them. So it does work, but remember that some of this is about 10 years old. So I'll just give this a bit of a scrape. Joe, if you want to do maybe this one here, Mate, Joe, we're done. It looks fantastic.
Unbelievable, Musa.
What do you think of the product?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, it was fairly heavy residue there. So
Yeah. Well, we had to use the chisel in the end.
Yeah.
It just wasn't coming off.
Yeah,
it was really thickly baked on, so we took it off. But it's worked perfect.
Yeah.
And we did have to use steel wool.
Yeah.
You know, I think if it's just recent oil, I think, or grease, I think it will come off pretty easily.
Yeah.
But when it's like this old, you have to use a bit of elbow grease. Yeah. Okay, so we're ready now to put everything together. It's looking fantastic. This was so greasy. This took a lot of work. Everything took a lot of work. It was a lot more work than we thought, eh?
Yeah, 100%.
But the hood came out probably the best. So the hood is stainless steel, but the sides are aluminium. So we weren't able to clean the sides perfectly. And it looks to me like a precast. I could be wrong on that, but it looks like it. The splashback also was a bit difficult. Everything was baked on. With the hot plate, I went through, we cleaned it, and then I went through with my wire brush and my drill and just cleaned up even more, and that turned out fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that.
Yep.
So it's still a little bit blotchy. We're going to put a bit of oil on there just to sort of even that colour out, but I'm really happy with that. Now, one thing I did do is take the burners out, which I should have done it in the beginning. It was just silly for me to leave them, and it made it a lot easier once I took the burners out. Now, we are replacing two of them. Two of them don't work. So, Joe, we'll get the bottom plates, we'll put the burners in, and we'll start constructing it back together.
Sounds good.
All right, so now the first thing we're going to do is put the tray in. We're just going to move these wires, these igniting wires, and they just sit back on the tray like that. Beautiful. Okay, just get the next one. Thanks, Joe. All right, so this is a 6 burner. Okay, there we go. I'll just move that to the center. Beautiful. All right, so now we'll put the burners in. And we're going to put the older ones first. Just sit them in place like that. And beautiful. These go in so easily, eh? It's a really good design, actually. Okay, now we'll just put in the 2 new ones. Okay, so now I'll just put the starter in. So it just goes to the right side, and you get this circlip, and you run that through either side. Actually, it's supposed to be that way. And just run that through and lock that in. Oops. All right, so that's done. So you do have to be careful with these starters. It looks like to me they're a ceramic, which is usually the case. So you've got to be careful not to snap these or break these. So it has to be close enough to the metal to ignite, but it's got to be far enough where it can't touch the actual steel. So that one I just moved, the first new one was touching, and you can't let it touch. So they're currently sitting about that far, so around about 3 millimeters roughly. Some of them are a little bit more, a little bit less, to the burners. And so I'm just checking them all. This one here is a little bit far. I'll just bring that in closer. That's it, done. Okay, so now we'll put this top cover on. And that way we can put these side covers in. Can you just lift your end up? That's it, beautiful. Now, that's it. That's it, that's done. Okay. All right, so I had to get in this corner first and push it over, so that's pretty easy. Now we'll get all the screws in a minute. I'm not going to do the screws yet. I'm just going to put all these knobs in. With the knob, you'll see there's a flat section up the top there. It looks flat there too, but that's actually deceiving. The flat section's up the top, and you just put it in place like that and just push down. It's quite easy to do. So you sit against that flat section. It's round and there's a little bit of a cutout. So again, just put that in position and just push down. It's quite easy to do. Okay. All right, and so now this one here is, I believe, a battery. So we just put this in place. And you turn it, and that's it, done. So Joe, can I ask if you could just check your burners, just to make sure that's working?
Yep.
Is your gas on?
Yeah, the gas is on.
Now there is water in this, so it could have a bit of an issue with it. Okay, Joe, that's fantastic. They're looking good. Perfect. That's beautiful. Now, there is some water in some of those. I can see the evaporation coming out, so I'll just let that dry for a minute. Okay, so now we're going to put these side covers on. Now, there's a bit of a difference. This side has a little lug. It's going to go through this hole just here. So just put that in. We'll push the trays over. Now, this side does also have a lug, but there's no hole here. Now, they've done that on purpose because they want you to pack it out. So we noticed when we took these off, they had a nut. Now we didn't know what the nut was for, okay, but the nut is loose. It just sits on top. It doesn't actually screw in. So what you got to do is put it through, put the nut on, and then put the washer. So I'll do that for both sides. Okay, so I'll show it again. So I'm going to put the screw in. I'm going to put the nut in as a packer. Now it answers the question why. And so then we'll just line that up there, and we'll just screw them in. Okay, just get my drill. All right. Okay, Joe, we'll put these 2 screws in. I'll put one in at a time. Now these 4 sat on this plate. I'll just put that in. So it's just a long, flat screw. And there we are. Joe, I'll get you to...
Finish them off.
Yeah, I'll just start it for you. Okay, so now I'm going to use a specialised screwdriver, which is known as a chisel. This actually works really well because it's got a very thin chisel here, so that way I can get into the screw. You usually don't use a chisel to drive a screw in, but in this case here, it actually works really, really well. So now I want to put the spill trays in, but these are bowed. You can see a bow in them, so I'm actually going to just squeeze that back just gently. Okay, all right, so let me just see if that sits in. Okay, so now they've got these little cutouts in the back here, and they basically just sit over the screws that we just put in, and they just sit like that, and they're a catch tray. Now I'll just put this back cover on. That just basically just sits in these little square cutouts, and you've got these little notches here, and you just slip them in, and they just sit in place. Okay, just like that, it's done. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put this back cover on. That basically just sits in like that. So it sits on the top, just in between these 2 sections here in the tray, the top tray, and you just push it in and you just put screws in. We'll stitch it all back up again. Now you might be wondering what these screws here are for. I believe once upon a time there was a tray that you can close the lid on and cook, say, vegetables or something in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe doesn't use it, so we're not going to put that in. Yeah, if you can push it down for me. That's it. Beautiful. Done. All right, so now we'll put the hood on. Okay, Joe, if you can bring that across and just drop that in. Okay. That's easy. Easily screwed in. All right. Mate, very easy. Okay. All right, so now I'll just lock this side off, going the wrong way. All right, it's almost done. Okay. All right, so that's done. Okay, so now we're gonna put the covers on, and they sit on top of these lugs. And so you put it on the lug, push through, push down, and just let them sit on those lugs. Very easy. Okay, so there's 4 of these covers. They don't sit over the hot plate, they just sit over the grill, and they're just to protect it from the oil splashing down, the fat. So now this is the hot plate, that just sits on top of this lip here. Okay, so now we'll put the grills on. We took them out of the packet and we have noticed that there's a bit of a crack here, but we'll still put it in place and just see how it fits. Okay. That's looking good. Joe, if you can put that one on.
Yep.
Last piece. Okay, Joe, it's done. What do you think?
Musa, incredible transformation.
That looks incredible, doesn't it?
Yeah, I never thought it would turn out this good.
Wow. From what it looked before to what it looks now,
Yeah.
it's just a huge transformation. I knew it was going to be okay,
Yeah.
but Rubbedin is actually a really good product. Now, it didn't do everything I thought it would, but when you have baked on grease like that for 10 years, mate, I don't think anyone's going to get that off.
No.
So we did really well. Sorry, Joe, a bit of oil went down the back and the cupboard's got a bit of oil in them, so Bianca's going to have to clean it.
I'm sure she won't mind.
Yeah. Hey, look, it turned out fantastic. I'm really happy with the result. We did have a little bit of a chip in the grill, but you can get that replaced. Anyway, so mate, fantastic. A lot of hard work, but it was worth it.
Yeah, definitely, so thank you.
No. Okay, and now you can have your barbecue.
Woohoo!
So this beef eater barbecue is fantastic. Pulling it apart and putting it back together showed me how well this has actually been designed. I think it's a great product. In actual fact, this repair, this transformation, cost about 1/5 of the replacement of a brand new one, which is fantastic. So, I think it was well worth it.
Yeah, well worth the effort.
Yeah. So if you are interested, I will put a link in the descriptions below for the beef eater, also for Joe's barbecue and for Rubbedin. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And if you have any comments at all, please leave them below and I will get back to you. And I'd ask you, please consider to subscribe, hit the like button and share this video. And there's many more to come. Thanks, guys. Okay.
Let's go. Let's go.
She's gone.
Shaking must have worked.
Ah, fantastic.
Shaking works.
So as I said, they do recommend that you do this a couple of times if it's really thick. And this is pretty thick. It's actually thicker than me.
These two are screwed.
Yep. Oops. I just kicked it. Lucky it wasn't a bucket. All right.